Puppy's my baby. Today I'm going to be telling you about why I adopted a cat from abroad and how the process went. So Cornelius is a rescue cat from Cyprus. So there's this rescue shelter there run by one lady all by herself, and she rescues animals. Corny, did you just try to bite me? So this lady finds cats and dogs in the street and she rescues them. She gives them a home, she vaccinates them, neuters and spays them, and then she adopts them abroad. So I was looking on Facebook pages that are about adopting cats from abroad. But I was just scrolling through and people would be posting photos of these cats that they had, and then you'd have to contact them for details on how to adopt. And I saw this picture of Cornelius and I just fell in love with his face. He just had these sad eyes that I just fell in love with. So I contacted this lady, and really the whole process was quite simple. So she sent me this form, which I filled in. It wasn't too difficult. I had to print it out and fill it in by hand, and then I had to send it by post. So I sent off this form, and then it was quite a rushed thing actually, because she had a flight going out about 2 or 3 weeks later and she had spaces to fill on the flight. So we wanted to get it moving as quick as possible. So she wanted to just do a kind of like house check. So we just did a video call with me and someone else who kind of helps her out. Did a video call, I showed her around the house and I told her about my experience with cats, if I'd had cats before. And then she seemed quite happy for me to go ahead and adopt Cornelius. So the process from then on was quite straightforward. I paid £200 for everything. That covered his neutering, his vaccinations, his flight, the crate that he came on, everything. So I just sent over £200, and a week or two later I was at Heathrow Airport waiting for him to arrive. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was really, really amazing the first day I got him. Like, he was just really cute. He'd peed himself, bless him, in his crate. So why did I adopt him from abroad? So 2 reasons. One, it is kind of easier. There's less requirements than adopting from the UK. So I inquired into some shelters in the UK, and most of them wanted me to have a spare room that would be just for the cats. And I get it. I've worked with cats before. I've done a lot of cat rescue, and I get that in an ideal world it would be nice for them to have their own space where they can retreat to. I just didn't have that. I have a decent sized house, but it wasn't enough. I think they also had some other requirements. They wanted someone to come over and kind of like do an interview, and it just seemed quite a lengthy process and quite complicated. So it was actually easier to just adopt from abroad. And my second reason was that having volunteered abroad at cat shelters abroad in Vietnam, Spain, Portugal, I think that's it, I've seen that in the UK animals are treated very well. I think that's quite well known. People treat animals well here. So I'm not saying there aren't animals in need in the UK. Of course there are, but there's animals that are in more need in other countries, I think. Because in other countries they have a lot more like kill shelters. They have cases of neighbours poisoning local like stray cats, things like that. They're not treated as well, especially in somewhere like Cyprus. I've heard there's a lot of bad animal treatment there. So I really wanted to make a difference somewhere where it would actually really maybe save that cat's life. Because if Cornelius hadn't found a home with me, maybe he'd still be at this shelter, because this shelter also struggles quite a lot with getting adoptions. So I felt I was making a bigger difference by adopting from abroad. So overall, I would recommend, if you can, I think you should try to adopt a cat from a shelter who really needs it. If you're happy to wait a few weeks or a couple of months, it is worth adopting from abroad. Different shelters cover different amounts of expenses. So my shelter, I think she paid some of the expenses towards the flight. That's why it was so cheap for me. And I think for Dubai, for example, if you adopt a cat from Dubai, they cover a lot of the expenses too. So it's definitely something to look into. Yeah, just make sure you research the shelter a bit just to make sure they're legit. I mean, I haven't heard of any particular scams where people scam and ask for money. I haven't heard of any in particular, but just always be wary about sending money online. Just make sure you're sending it to the right person. But definitely adopt a rescue cat, because there's so many rescue cats out there that need love and they're just waiting to be adopted.